Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And, of course, good morning, many Motorways. Let's go to Lisbon for today's daily challenge, where weekly choices will be a mystery, but all of our destinations will be busier. Good morning, Samurai Sam, dropping a crab rave on us on this Thursday morning. We have 3 orange houses going into this orange business. Ow. Oh, goodness gracious me. So, I canceled HBO Max last night, which, for those of you who don't know things, you might be like, okay, Goog, you canceled a streaming service. Specifically, I canceled like the one streaming service I actually have. I had Disney. I had Disney Plus for a while. They did a big promotional deal around Christmas time where you could get 6 months for like $5 or whatever. So I had Disney Plus for a while, and I canceled that when they fired Jimmy Kimmel on the FCC's say so. And in a related development, lately, the folks at HBO Max have been taking advertisements from the Department of Immigration and Criminal. I don't even know what ICE stands for. ICE. They've been running Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. That's what it is. ICE has been running recruitment ads on HBO Max, and a couple of weeks ago they ran one, and the reaction to it was overwhelmingly negative because, well, listen. I'm not saying that every single person who watches All Elite Wrestling holds my exact political views or anything, but I am saying that All Elite Wrestling has probably the most leftist-leaning sports fan base in the country. So it's interesting, but, you know, wrestling has a certain stereotype, and I understand that. And listen, there are certainly fans of professional wrestling and probably even fans of All Elite Wrestling who are big fans of the Department of Immigration, well, the Department of Homeland Security and its Immigration and Customs Enforcement Bureau. The underscore Goog is not counted among those, but, you know. So they've been running an ad that is just like, if you're at all vaguely aware of the goings on in the frigid department, it's false lying. There's a lot of lying about the mission and purpose going on. But, you know, if you state the mission and purpose, it becomes more difficult to attract people to enact the mission and purpose. So, I imagine, and this was probably focus tested, they probably did some research and concluded that help your government round up the worst of the worst and protect our nation. That probably played better than kick out all the brown people so as to create our glorious white ethno-state. That probably, listen, there's definitely a demographic for that. After all, they're the people with power. But it's not a popular message. It doesn't test well. I can imagine like a Hollywood producer being in Stephen Miller's ear every day like, Stevie baby, I know, apartheid and white power forever, friend, but you gotta understand it doesn't play well outside the sticks. And Stevie gets all frustrated, and now we're humanizing these people, which on the one hand, they're humans, on the other hand, fuck them. So I only feel so much desire to commit to this questionably valuable bit. I only feel so much desire to commit to this questionably valuable bit is also what a person says when they cheap out on their sex toys. I'm sorry, it was right there. Oh, by the way, we're talking about the horrors today. I should have given the horrors warning. That's my bad. I think I'm just about done. The point of the story is HBO Max has been running recruitment ads for ICE during Dynamite, and independent of that, I just haven't been watching Dynamite much lately, and there are several reasons for that. One,
Samurai_Sam just cheered 1 bit. The value of this bit is questionable.
The value of that bit is questionable. Oh, God. Thank you for the bit, Samurai Sam. All right, let's free up this this orange business here. I think we can do that. We can take these 3 dark blues, run them around like so, and then we'll toss them down this way. That in turn will free up the entrance place to this business. I was going to have these 3 greens hop a motorway over this road to get into here, but given the placement and position of 6 yellow houses over here, I think I'm just going to murder kill this road, actually. I think just murder killing this road is the thing we're going to want to be doing. And then we'll have these 3 oranges hop over that way. That should, generally speaking, be fine. Okay. And actually, we're now refixing this situation here. Given that I'm doing this, I initially built this so as to create the motorway path, but since we're doing it that way, we can instead do this with these dark blues and have them be straighter shottedly down into here. Okay. So you go there, the 5 of you serve that, the 3 of you serve that, the 3 of you go off this way. Hey, we can make that fairly easily. The 4 of you. So the 4 of you serve that, you and the 3 of you jump over that away. Cool. Everybody's happy. Let's take a bridge. Hooray, bridge. And now we have another orange business, which, not great, but it at least spawned on a place where there are orange houses already, which is something. Not necessarily something great, but, if we get a roundabout, I might be able to scoot something together here with oranges and yellows coming together and going through and all that nonsense. But for right now, I think this will just basically be fine. So listen, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I went from a person who religiously viewed every single moment of every single episode of All Elite Wrestling, Dynamite, and Collision, and whatever the hell else is on HBO Max, and then having been exposed to 4, and I count them 4 advertisements for the Department of Homeland Security's Immigrations and Customs Enforcement Bureau, decided instead, no, I think I shall never watch this program ever again, thank you. That's not what happened. What happened is my Wednesdays got busy because I started playing in an occasional D&D game, which is fun. And, I started playing Overwatch again, and baseball playoffs are happening, and there are things that I do on my Wednesday nights now. And for quite some time, actually, like, your weekly episodes of AEW Dynamite are fine and good and competently produced television programming, but they're not, like, newsworthy. There's very rarely anything that you absolutely have to see on an episode of Dynamite anymore. There are a bunch of, like, good wrestling matches with really good wrestlers having really good wrestling matches where you can bet your bottom dollar going in that you know who's going to win. And on occasion, something weird happens, and that's not what happens. But that is on occasion. Like, the thing about AEW, and this is like not even necessarily a bad thing, but it is a thing, because they employ competent storytelling tactics, and they book with the knowledge that their fans are fans of professional wrestling, they do things that you do in professional wrestling. And therefore, when a babyface who is going to have a match against a heel on a pay-per-view has a match against the heel's flunky, you know the babyface is gonna win. Like, Jamie Hayter versus Sky Blue was a match on AEW Dynamite last night. And let's put aside the fact that Sky Blue is not good, but Jamie Hayter versus Sky Blue was a match on AEW Dynamite last night. And anyone who was paying any attention to anything knew that one of 2 things was going to happen. 1, Jamie Hayter was going to beat Sky Blue clean in the middle of the ring with her finishing move. Or 2, some chicanerous fuckery was going to happen and Sky Blue was going to get a worthless victory. The first thing happened. They're saving the worthless fuckery victory for the pay-per-view, where Jamie Hayter faces Tekla one-on-one in a build-up to their blood and guts match in November. Okay, fine. Samurai Sam wants us to remember Batista, which we'll get to eventually. First, we've got to move motorway number 1 over to here to keep all of these light blues from dying on account of this light blue. You know, I could draw a ridiculously long bridge here. I might wind up with a ridiculously long bridge. I think if I don't get any kind of motorway from this, I got another bridge. Fuck. Okay. It might indeed be time for a very long and stupid bridge, actually. Let's see here. I kind of don't want to... Hold on. Where is the gray for this bit? The gray for this is over here. That's weird and bad. Okay. See, here's a problem. We need to get dark blues over to here. We need to get... Okay. Well, actually, I have an idea. It's a bad idea, but watch this. We're going to take these dark blues. We're going to steal them away from this business. It's going to be fine. Hi, Nora. Yeah, I know. You're mad at me because I didn't feed you yet this morning. I'll work on it. You come down here, and then voop and voop. So these 4 dark blues are now serving this business. They could, if I ever get a roundabout, be assisted by these 3 dark blues coming up this way, but that's a problem for future Goog. Now, this circle over here has been kind of overfucked. That's entirely my fault. So what we're going to do is we're going to run these dark blues in a generally thisly direction, and now these 4 dark blues shall service this dark blue business. Okay. That leaves these light blues right here via motorway number 1 to service and save this business should be fine, and it leaves this gray business down here completely and totally underexposed. Now, why do you only have 1 gray house? It's because the gray house has just started spawning. Oh, hi. Well, I can just do that and not have to think about you, I think. It seems entirely plausible. I was going to say plausible, but then I wound up saying feasible, and I wound up saying plausible, which sounds like a Mythbusters verdict where, yeah, you could blow up the grain silo, but it would be a bad idea. It sounds real plausible to me, Jamie. And then they have a laugh about their wordplay or something. I don't know. All right. You come over to here. You blues go down that way. That's all fine and good. I got more blues spawning right here, which is nice for the service of, hey, you know what? I think I redrew this orange and yellow road for the purpose of this, but then I realized that I can just do this and make this be so much more sensical and good. So now the 4 of you come down here. You might even get some more friends. Okay. Y'all dark blues over here. Actually, I think we're going to immediately abandon. We're going to reprioritize our positionment here. You are going to come back down. Wait, this is the road I wanted to. Okay. I'm smart. So these dark blues are going to go that way. These dark blues right here are going to go this way. Voosh. And bulldoze that tree. Sorry about that tree. You go that way. And you go that way. Hold on. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. This is all making sense now. You come like so. And now these go over here. Except for this, which joins this in serving this. Does that all make sense? I think that all makes sense. So yes. AEW Dynamite is a perfectly competently produced professional wrestling television program that is that is very rarely excellent and not frequently exciting anymore. And additionally, on top of that, the past couple AEW pay-per-views have just been kind of, like, I think I skipped AEW All Out, which was the last one. I think that was the first AEW pay-per-view I've ever not watched. And it was just like, okay, you're going to have Hangman versus Kyle Fletcher for the world title, huh? Well, that should be a good match, and I bet my mortgage that Hangman's winning. And, well, Hangman won. It's like, I do like professional wrestling as an art form and as a performance, and I prefer having a well-performed athletic match to a poorly performed unathletic match. But at the same time, I am not a person, unless it's like a pure, true dream match in the style of like your Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson for the first time ever match. I am not a person who can be sold exclusively on, by God, this match is going to be excellent. Please pay absolutely no attention to the fact that you know who's going to win. Like, I do want to, one, care about, and two, not be certain of the outcome. I want to know where the story is going. I want to follow the story, and occasionally, I want to be surprised and intrigued by things. And it's the surprise, and the problem is when AEW tries to do surprise and intrigue, we get things like who's the devil ruining MJF's life, which was not exactly an excellent professional wrestling story, it must be said. Basically what I'm saying is I canceled HBO Max and I'm blaming ICE, and it is ICE's fault, but also I might not like it. I might not like AEW as much as I used to like AEW, and I don't know if that's my fault or AEW's fault or professional wrestling's fault, but it's sad. I didn't mean for this to be an existential crisis episode. I meant for it to be a rant about the horrors episode, which is also a bad episode. Listen, there are no good episodes anymore, friends. We've done 800 of them. Oh, the problem of Gibbim is the problem of wrestling. Oh no. Oh no, I made it meta. Oh no. Oh no, I made it meta is one of the titles of the episode. It's 7:15. We're going to be here for a while. We might say something else funny. Let's see here. We might say something else funny would be a decent title for an episode, but now we're getting Titleception. Titleception would be a decent title for an episode, actually. Let's see here. So we've got these yellows as well. This gross. This whole thing is ucky. I don't like it. Let's take these yellows right here. I guess we should probably incorporate this yellow into that more naturally, like so, and maybe even do a little bit of, no, hold on. No, we can't really do this fluidly, can we? I'm trying to make this like one simple road so as to avoid terrible intersections, and that's not really happening. Yeah, no, we're kind of bound by the doom of terrible intersections, I think. All right, well, that's unfortunate. We'll have a bridge come down over here, and these 1, 2, 3, 4 dark light blue houses will join with these 1, 2, 3 yellow houses to service these two businesses. That I'm sure will be totally fine. None shall ever question the purity and grace of something these fuckers. You and you and you and you. Hey, we're getting a lot of spawns here, so that's nice. That's good and fun. How we doing over here with this orange and yellow conflagration monstrosity thing? Seems to be doing well. That's good. Got a whole bunch of light blues spawning over this way, which I suppose is theoretically in response to the existence of this. If I was to get another bridge, I could pull all of these blues off of this, have them motorway up to here, and then have these blues bridge down to here, thereby freeing this business from the yoke of all of this nonsense. Man, I'm all about freeing things from yokes recently. Been doing a lot of yoke talking. Oh well, it's a good word, yoke. You need it if you're going on the Oregon Trail. All right. Let's see here. You and you and you and you and you. And we're going to chop murder this. We're going to repositionize motorway numero uno, like so. We're going to take all of these light blues, get them out of here. Toss that in a thatly direction. Make this make a little more sense. Okay. And you all shall go this way. We're going to have a big ol' on-ramp situation going right here. just as soon as we get a motorway back, which we will when this car that just pulled in goes back across. Once this car goes back across, we get this going over here, and then we get the Beskar back to the Mandalorians. This is the way. See, I can reference things without watching them. Never seen an episode of the Baby Yoda show in my life, and yet. Thank you, YouTube Shorts. Motorway number 2 goes over here. Apparently they're making a movie with the Mandalorian called The Mandalorian and Grogu. I saw that there was a trailer. I did not watch the trailer. The reaction to the trailer tells me that it was fine that I did not watch the trailer. Apparently, the trailer made the movie look bad. Which is probably a problem for them, but, fuck them. Oh, let's see here. We've got this gray business which exists, which is probably not excellent. Fortunately, we do have a couple gray houses that have spawned just on this road, so we can at least theoretically do that. This light blue over here got very mad at me, but that was just during the transitional phase when it didn't actually have any friends or support or nothing, so I understand that, and hopefully we've taken appropriate steps to modify and pacify and mollify and make it better. Those are all good things. All right. This yellow circle's starting to get angry, which, listen, I understand. You're in a weird situation there, little yellow circle. Stop giving me traffic lights. Game. I got to start taking the right-hand option because I worry that maybe the question marks aren't actually representative of shuffling, and it's just they're doing the usual position and they're covering with question marks. So, oops. Man, if that's the case, I've probably missed out on some motorways. Oh well. Let's see here. Speaking of missing out on things, we've got this yellow house over here, which is a problem. Well, friends, I don't know how to properly express this to y'all, but this is not good. Yeah, we've got 7 traffic lights and nothing useful here. So, like, I could really go for a bridge or a motorway right about now, but I don't have one. On the other hand, it is already Thursday. So, maybe if we just kind of don't look at it for a couple more in-game days, everything will be fine? I don't necessarily believe that, but no, actually, you're dying now. Great, we've just wasted time. Okay, let's enact an emergency measure. This is going to be bad and dumb, by the way. We're going to extend this road over here, a little bit over to motorway number 1, and then we're going to extend our off-ramp of motorway number 1 over here. And you see that the rescue force for this business is coming from these houses, which is, well, it's the plan that we're using. It's about all that can be said for it. It's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get yellows over here on motorway number 1. They literally might not ever get there. I clicked the right one and got traffic lights. Fuck you too, video game. God damn it. I said that I would have to start clicking the right one because the left one kept giving me traffic lights. And I clicked the right one and I got traffic lights. And listen, it didn't matter because the business was doomed anyway. But that was very funny. That was very funny. Well done. You made a good humor joke, Mini Motorways. Also, we partied like it was 1999 for our daily challenge score. That is top 4% in the world, and it is apparently better than Samurai Sam. Drop those GGs in the chat if you've got them. Oh, glorious triumphant victory for me, the _Goog. Let us bring in our dear friend, the Wordle. Hello, the Wordle. The Wordle today is Glory on account of our... No, not Glotty, Goog. Glotty is an entirely different... Never mind. All right. So it's not Glory, but there is a Y at the end of it. I mean, it could be Buffy. We could just keep going with Sunnydales. No? Sunnydales, incidentally, is the noun for people from Sunnydale. They're not very creative folk over there. TIL, Buffy, is an actual word, which I guess makes sense. You know, if you take a polisher and you get rid of all of the dents and scrapes and blemishes on your item, the item is left all buffy. I guess that makes sense. Sadly, the Wordle is not Buffy, and we have not really gained any information from the usage of the word Buffy, but, you know, it's a detail. Could be Shaky, if we just go with another video game character. Shaky was someone in Red Dead Redemption. I think he was one of Irish's friends. That sounds right. Sadly, it's not Shaky, but there is an A, so we've got that going for us. It can't be Mangy, because there's no G. It could be Candy. It is getting on Halloween. I bought my annual requisite bag of candy corn yesterday. Candy corn. Candy corn is good. Listen, this is one of those things where people like die on hills and such. I'm not going to die on this hill, but I'll pitch a tent on this hill. I'm enjoying this hill. But, you know, if you want to have a fight on this hill, I'll abandon this hill. I'm not dying on this hill. But while the sun is shining and it's a nice day, I'll have a picnic on this hill. Let's stop and have a picnic on the Candy Corn is Good hill. All right? All right. The Candy Corn is Good hill is one of the titles of the episode, I suppose. Now then. What is this word? It can't be carry, because there's no R. It can't be cagey, because there's no G. It could be cavey. You could be, you know, describing something cavernous. No. Cavey? Cavey's not a word. Buffy's a word, but cavey's not? Really, English? Really? That's what you're saying? All right, well, it could be campy. Could definitely be campy. We were talking about pitching tents on hills and whatnot, but no. Okay. It could be catty, I guess. You could just be making snarty conversations about, okay, fine. It's catty. We figured it out. We did the Wordle in 6. Congratulations to me and me alone. And perhaps not me alone going forward as we advance with Time Guesser. Hello, Time Guesser. All right, so this, we have plenty of things that are here with names and such, so this should be doable. We've got the Cambridge Moonies. It's a lounge. It's right next to Il Capucotto, an Italian restaurant, which is fully licensed. You should know. Let's see here. This is the Bar Central. It's a restaurant and espresso bar right next to the Belmont Club. Interesting. My first thought is Jolly London Town. My second thought is that my first thought was probably right. What does this say? Your ad here. It's basically what this says. Interesting. Okay. We don't even have a single city name here in any place, unless you count Cambridge. We could be... No, it's the Cambridge. It doesn't say that it's in Cambridge. Although it would be very Cambridge to have a place called the Cambridge. That's true of both Cambridge, England, and Cambridge, Massachusetts. This is a sign placard sandwich board for Schweppes, which is ironic given that Schweppes is a beverage and not a sandwich, but I digress. Let's see here. So you, this definitely giving off the vibe of a British-ass car right here. I can't really tell... Well, I guess it might be a drive on the... It's either a drive on the left kind of place on account of this guy driving on the left, or it's a one-way street. But, we do have... Hold on. This car right here in the foreground, pretty sure this driver is close to the near side window, which would mean that that person is driving on the right side of their vehicle, which would mean that we are indeed in England, which would mean... that we are indeed in Jolly London Town. Now then, it would also help if I could recognize the Cinerama Casino or something, but no. Or this, Wimpy's store. Can't do that. All right. But just off of general vibe, we're going to say we're in Jolly London Town. It could be like Dublin or something, but Jolly London Town. Sounds good to me. Now then, as to the when of this, don't have too much to go on. I mean, we've got the cars, obviously. They're giving 40s, 50s, 60s vibes. The old school Pepsi logo doesn't help too much. It does kind of push it a little more modern, and just like, the photography, the color photoness of it all. Maybe like these could be cabs and this could be the early 80s even. I think that's a little bit much. Let's say Jolly London Town 1973. That sounds probably wrong, but not horrendously so. It could be, Amsterdam 1969. It's probably not, but it could be. Do I feel like trying to figure out exactly where in Jolly London Town we are? No, I frankly don't. So we're just going to drop a pin vaguely there-ishly, and we're going to say that it's 1973. It is, in fact, 1970. Good job, Goog. Next, we've got a ceremonial weapon handing. Okay. So it appears as though this dude is presenting a gun to the general fella. Okay. Can we tell what manner of army folk these are? I'm not getting a good guy's vibe here, but, when you get right down to it, you very rarely get a good guy's vibe from dudes in full army uniform, All right. Let's see. This is Mr. Altman, Europe, and we got flag. We got a weird fancy battle standard flag. This is not like a national identificational flag or nothing. I don't know why I said identificational in such a weird manner, but I did. This is the Dorfler. This could be like the surrender of Germany in 1945. For the lack of a better option, I mean, we could just say, this is Berlin, Germany, 1945. Could also be Berlin, Germany, 1919 or whatever, but yeah, it does kind of feel like the 40s might be, yeah. And again, I'll say, yeah. Yeah, okay. I don't feel great about this, but we're going to go with it. It could be the surrender of Poland to Germany. I don't know if they ever did like a formal, hey, we're Nazis now ceremony. The United States sure didn't, so. Anyway, yeah, we're just going to kind of head for the vague center of Berlin, right about, say, here in 1945, and we're going to call that good. It was, in fact, a ceremony celebrating the 10th anniversary of the post-war Katowice brand of the Polish Riflemen's Association. Interesting. So it was Poland in 1929. Okay. Next, we've got some places. Campbell Furniture Company. This is First Street in Edmonton. Thank you, caption. Thank you, handwriting on photograph. Sadly, you didn't date this for me, but I suppose we have to put in some level of effort. Not much, though. This is very turn of the century times, because we've got horse-drawn carriages and roads built for same and trams and such back before private enterprise had captured and destroyed the public transportation industry. So, yeah, this is a very horrors-heavy episode today, and I suppose I'm sorry for that, but there's horrors. I don't know what to tell you. So this is the Bank of Nova Scotia, which would indicate that we might be in Nova Scotia if we didn't already know that we're in Alberta, which, to be fair, is like near Nova Scotia. It's like how there's a Leominster Credit Union in Fitchburg. That sort of thing. Let's see here. This is a North Central Massachusetts joke for you. It's not even a joke so much as it is a plain and ordinary statement of fact. Although I think they changed their name. I don't know. That sounds right. Joke may not be accurate anywhere anymore. We're on First Street in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada in I think Dickety negative 12. Yeah, 19 Dickety negative 12. That sounds about right. So, Alberta is like Western Canada. So, let's go to Edmonton. See if we can find First Street at a glance. There's 107th Avenue, so we're a fair ways away from it, but maybe the streets are different. There's 102nd. We've got. Oh, it's 102nd Street. For a second, I thought that said 102st, like 102 ST Street. That would have been bad. So there's 102nd. Maybe they just do things weird there. Yeah, if I go 100 streets over this way, are we... Oh, wait, actually, we are sticking with the numbers gimmick. All right, well, fuck, man. If you're going to say you're on 1st Street, I'm going to go to 1st Street. There's 17th Street. And there's Broadmoor Boulevard. Hold on. Edmonton. Edmonton, did you run out of streets? Do you start your street numbering at 17 these days? Hold on, what's going on here? Oh, there it is. All right, there's 13th. There's 1st. 1st Street. I found 1st Street in Edmonton. I feel so proud of me. All right, so we're going to drop a pin right there. And we're going to say that is 19 Dickety -12. Was, in fact, 19 Dickety -7. And also, not anywhere near 1st Street. What the fuck? Edmonton. Stupid Edmonton. Oh, well. Next. Oh, God. Oh, big stretch. Oh, big stretch and deep breath and possible over-caffeination this morning. Excellent. Let's see here. So we're at a lovely little seaside. Cool. My first thought is like Venice or some other form of Italy, but I don't know how accurate and correct that might be. We do have plenty of canoe-type, vaguely gondolish boatage here, which would lend credence to the Venice hypothesis. The Venice hypothesis is the title of an episode of The Big Bang Theory, which means it's not a good title for an episode of Good Morning Mini Motorways. Good Morning Mini Motorways, we endeavor to be a better show than The Big Bang Theory. It's a low bar, but damn it, we'll clear it. Not, I should note, as professionally produced. A very good many talented, skilled, and competent people went into the production of The Big Bang Theory, and Good Morning Mini Motorways is produced by a jamoke who woke up half an hour ago. So, it's getting on an hour now because we've been streaming for half an hour. You know how this works. Okay. Let's see here. How do I actually feel about Venice for this? Not great, but, you know, what else could it be? Like, Monaco? Something in Monaco? Maybe? Definitely can't read anything on this banner other than the fact that it is a banner. So that's not horrendously helpful. I bet you there are professional GeoGuessr players who recognize this just by the streetlights. I know that streetlights are very often a tell. Oh, well. Yeah, sure, fine. Let's go Venice, Italy, 19 Don't Move the Thing? It could be 19 Don't Move the Thing. It feels a little early, but, you know, that's a big ol' awful allegedly portable camera that guy's neck-toting there. And I don't see a bunch of... Well... This is kind of a tinier, littler one. Maybe 1970. We already had a 1970 today. I don't know how often they straight up repeat years, but they're definitely in the same parts of time fairly often. All right, fuck it. Venice, Italy, 1970. Let's go up this way. Venice, as you may recall, is way the hell up here. And if we're in Venice, we're definitely closer to the water, so let's go... there-ish. Actually, if this is Venice, then those... No, that's fine. We'll go there. Is Venice, Italy? We'll say that it's 1970. It was, in fact, Venice, Italy, 1973. God, I feel good. Oh, when you play hunches and you suss things out, it feels so good to be good at this game. Well... we did say that it was a very horrors-heavy episode. So I know exactly where this is. This is the headquarters of Bass Pro Shop, or I don't know if it's necessarily the headquarters, but it's one of the famous Bass Pro Shops buildings. It is a literal pyramid that is in Memphis, Tennessee. There's a skeet that I saw that may or may not have been a tweet, but it is accurate to say that in 2025 BC, soldiers from the outer provinces would be called in to defend the city of Memphis, Egypt, against outside invasion. Outside invasion in heavy air quotes. It is also true that in 2025, soldiers from the outer provinces have been called in to defend the pyramid at Memphis, Tennessee, from outside invasion in heavy air quotes. So yeah, there's a big famous Bass Pro Shops pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee. This was taken a couple of weeks ago. The country is crumbling and we're doomed and fascism is on the march and winning. So that's fun. That's great. It's really uplifting stuff here on a Thursday. Yeah, this is the pyramid, the Bass Pro Shops. Yup. We are right about there in 2025. So, yeah. Yep. This is great. This is fine and good. 42,878 sure is a score. Samurai Sam posted his in the Discord channel, and I'll check it now, although there are GGs in the chat. Drop some more of them for me. It's me. I'm the victor today. Hooray. We have more GGs for the _Goog. A very good time guessing performance. Now then, for today's Immaculate Grid, we need Guardians, Reds, Phillies, White Sox, dudes what had 100 RBIs, and dudes what had 40 or more wins in their career. If I may, we have 8 squares that I could use Jim Thome for. Today is Jim Thome Day. Happy Jim Thome Day on the Immaculate Grid. Holy shit. A dude, well, I suppose he couldn't fit any of these because he wasn't a red. So there are only 6. All right, fine. We have 6 squares where Jim Thome fits because he was a Guardian and a Philly. He was a Guardian and played for the White Sox. He was a Guardian who had 100 RBI in a season, and he had more than 40 wins above replacement in his career. Jim Thome has 6 squares. I wonder if we can if we can get this done without using Jim Thome here on Jim Thome Day. Let's find out. A Cincinnati Red who played for the Chicago White Sox is Billy Hamilton, the modern fast guy. He was fast. It's about his entire skill set, really. Cincinnati Red who had 100 RBIs in a season is one Joseph Votto. And a Cincinnati Red who played for the Philadelphia Phillies is a wonderful question, actually. Was Pete Schurik a Philly? Probably not. Was Ryan Friel a Philly? I believe the answer to that question is no. Jose Bautista was never a Philly. Jose Guillen was never a Philly. Mickey Morandini was never a Red. I don't think so. Travis Fryman was never a Philly. Scott Rowland was totally a Philly and therefore fits the square. So we'll go with Scott Rowland, a Red who was also a Philly. Now then, for our Thome squares. Incidentally, Happy Jim Thome Day is one of the titles of the episode. A Cleveland Guardian who was also a Philadelphia Philly was Justin Masterson a Philly? No, I don't think so. There was a period of time where it seemed like Masterson might have been a Philly, I think. But no, he was not a Philly. 3 members of the 1970s Big Red Machine won a pennant with the Phillies in '83. Oh. I would have guessed Pete Rose. I didn't know that Joe Morgan and Tony Perez were on that team, but good for them. Cleveland Guardian who played for the Chicago White Sox is Paul Ossenmacher? I think Paul Ossenmacher played for the White Sox. I don't know why I think that, but I do. Fuck it, man. What are we going to do? Be wrong about stuff? I wasn't. I was right about stuff. Ha ha! Paul Ossenmacher, a Cleveland Guardian who also played for the White Sox. Good job, Goog. Cleveland Guardian who had 100 RBI in a season is Manny Ramirez. He was quite good at baseball, don't you know? A dude who had 100 RBI in a season and 40 or more wins above his replacement in his career is one Marcus Lynn Betts. Imagine if you had Mookie Betts on your baseball team and then you decided your baseball team would be improved by not doing that. Boy, you'd be stupid, wouldn't you? You'd be a big dumb fucker. You big dumb fucker. Either that or you'd be a baseball team that doesn't care about winning and is therefore not worthy of victory. Interesting. A Chicago White Sox player who amassed 40 or more wins above replacement in his career is Robin Ventura. He was very good at baseball. Robin Ventura has like a low-key downgrade Hall of Fame case, I think. Actually, there's a non-zero chance that Robin Ventura is in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he is. I think he's like just barely outside of it, but I could be wrong about that. Robin Ventura is very good. Robin Ventura is not in the Hall of Fame, but he had like 56 wins above replacement in his career. Robin Ventura was an excellent baseball player. Not a great manager, but an excellent baseball player. Oh, God. All right. A Philadelphia Philly who had 40 or more wins above replacement in his career is Roy Halladay. Roy Halladay was a Philly with 40 or more wins above replacement, and now, oh, fuck it, it is Jim Thome Day. Can I think of one? I'd like to think of one. I don't think I can. Son of a bitch. Fuck it. A Philadelphia Philly who played for the Cleveland Guardians is Jim Thome. That is an immaculate grid. It is a double-digit rarity score. Surprisingly well done by the Goog. Any day where you can bust out Paul Ossenmacher is a good day for the old rarity score. Folks, that is going to do it for us here today on Good Morning Mini Motorways. I do apologize for the invocation of the horrors, but, well, sometimes there are horrors, and sometimes we have to acknowledge them in order to move on with our lives. I think Mookie Betts is so low because, like, people recognize that Mookie Betts is a great player. 40 wins above replacement feels like a lot. He's not your typical RBI guy. Like, he's not your thought of as your middle of the order homery sluggery type dude. And this is like all players ever. Like, any all-time great slugger of all time is going to be in this square, right? Like, Ryan Howard's here, Jim Edmonds is probably here, Ted Williams is probably here. Yes, I say all-time great sluggers, and the second name I come up with is Jim Edmonds. I'm surprised too. Ted Williams is here, Joe DiMaggio's here, Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, etc., etc., etc. So you've got a big wide net to go for. Why would you go for Mookie Betts unless you were trying to prove a point? Hi, it's me, the _ point prover. Anyway, that will do it for us here today on Good Morning Mini Motorways. I intend to be back later this evening for Hades 2, and as a special bonus, I promise not to take a fucking allergy pill right before stream and wind up having to call it after 90 minutes like I did last week. God. Anyway, Hades 2 later tonight. Gimmim tomorrow. You have a good day. Let me find the end screen. There it is. Bye.